welcome back, it's Bookish Bia, and as you can tell by the title of this video, today we're going to be doing Read My TBR / mood reading, because I don't know if I'm going to get through all of these, but I don't know, fingers crossed. I'm really excited. I haven't been excited to film a video in like ages. I'm really excited to film this video because I'm in such a reading mood. If you don't know, I have mentioned it before. I was in uni. I just finished my final assignments for my third year, so I have nothing, and I had basically since the start of the year not read much. I read one book in January, one book in February. I read actually quite a lot of books in March, but that was because one of the books was a short story, and I don't know what happened in March. I just was on it. And one book in April, or 2 books in April technically. And yeah, I've just not been, it's not like I've been in a reading slump, I've not had time to read. The assignments have been crazy and everything, but literally the day that the assignments, I've had all my assignments, I got in a reading mood. I've been in a reading mood for weeks. And I picked up a book off the TBR list. If you don't know, my last video I did a number generator picks my TBR plus the books that were on my TBR for March, because I did have a TBR for March. It was my boyfriend picked it out. I think I did a video about that as well. I did actually. It was I did a April TBR and a March reads, and I didn't do an April reads because I only read 2 books in April, so what was the point? I only did a number generator picks my books. I didn't read a single book of the books that I was going to read in April. I read Say You Swear, and that's it, and technically Sunrise on the Reaping, I finished it at the start of the month, but I just read this, so, and that's a short book, and it took me a month to read. I was also reading Harry Potter though, so I read that and Harry Potter, but I don't count that because it was a reread, so it's not I'm not reading a new book, so yeah, I didn't count that, and yeah. So I didn't read any of my TBR, so I thought, let's do a number generator, picks the books I read for May, and I will keep the books. This was my supposed TBR for April that I didn't read any of, and then I'll also pick 5 books for from the number generator. I'll pick 5 numbers, count them, and then those are the books I'm going to also add. And obviously 10 books is quite a lot to read in 1 month for someone who's only been reading 1 a month. So it wasn't a thing of I had to stick to this. It's just a mood read. Most of my TBRs, I don't stick to them, and I try not to be hard on myself for not to stick to them. I just try to mood read. If I'm in the mood to read what's on my TBR, then I read it. If I don't, then I'll just go pick up something else that's not on my TBR for that month. It's not really that big of a deal. It's a TBR that I make myself. All that to say, in this video, it's going to be non-spoiler vlog of me trying to get through these books. I'm actually excited to read quite a few of these, so I can't wait. But we're first going to be starting with a book that I've already actually been reading. I'm halfway through right now, and I'm loving it. I started this on Friday, and I was planning on saving it so I can talk a bit about it because I didn't have my camera, but I couldn't stop reading it, and that's Twisted Games. It wasn't in my last video because it was on my bedside table because I had just started it, but I mentioned in my video that this book was also a book that my boyfriend picked for me to read in April and that I didn't get to, and I had already started it. That's why I wasn't in that video. I didn't go over it. But yeah, I'm loving this book. This follows Bridget, and I'm loving the book, but I'm really bad with names. Okay, I'm just saying. Reese. This follows Bridget and Reese. It's a bodyguard princess romance, which I've never read before. I went into this book expecting nothing. I read Twisted Love ages ago, and I think I read it on my iPad, and I only got the physical copy recently, but I read Twisted Love ages ago, and I never picked up, I bought all of the other books, but I never read them, so this has been on my TBR for ages. The pages are turning yellow. That's how long this has been on my TBR. It's turning yellow. So yeah, probably more than a year, maybe more than 2, that I read Twisted Love, and I never went on to the next books, but I knew that they were about the friends in Twisted Love. And this, I'm loving it. I'm gonna get to reading now, because also something that's never happened to me before. While I was at work today, I couldn't stop thinking about coming home to read this book, which has like it has happened before, but it hasn't happened for a very, very long time. I think the last time I would like couldn't stop thinking about reading a book and going back to reading it was when I read Akatar, which is at the start of 2024. I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct. But yeah, other than that, I can't remember the last time that I was like itching to go home to finish the book, to read the book, and like I need to find out what happens next. I'm loving it. So let's get going. Someone kill me now. I'm on chapter 41. Tell me why I'm literally almost crying at this contemporary romance book. Like, a tear was nearly shed. Like, my eyes are stinging. My eyes are stinging. Oh, I hate everybody in this book except for our two main characters, Reese and Bridget. I hate everyone. They're just getting on my nerves. I'm on chapter 41. It's currently, I don't know, it's only 7:41. I thought it was actually a lot later, but it's 7:41. I'm on chapter 41. I've got like 10, maybe 11 chapters left. I think I'm gonna finish the book now, but shut your mouth right now. Shut your mouth right now. So this is good. Wait, is this weird? I'm confused. I need to read on. Half brother. Got it. Costa Rica asked me if I'd ever been in love. I said no. I lowered my head until our foreheads touched, and her lips were scant inches from mine. Ask me again. Have you ever been in love, Mr. Larson? Only once. No, like, please stop. Stop. This is like... the twists and turns this story has had. I have no words. I love Reese's humour. The violence is another thing that we have to work on. You're dating a princess now, you can't go around stabbing people. Oh, I think people will understand once they find out who I'm stabbing. Oh, funny. This book has everything. Oh, this book. I'm on chapter 50. I'm literally about to finish, and it's 9 o'clock. So after this, it's sleepy time, but yeah, chapter 50, about to be finished. So, I can't believe I'm finishing this book. I actually don't want to finish reading this. I finished. It might be too presumptuous, but 5 stars. I literally like shed tears at the end during the ceremony. I won't say what the ceremony is because that might be spoilers, but like in the epilogue, literal tears. So 5 stars immediately. I wish this was like longer. 5 stars. I usually do not like epilogues at the end of contemporary romance books. I feel like everybody does epilogues, and it's like really annoying. And all the epilogues are always the same. It's either the epilogue is either that they get pregnant or they get married, and like it's always like I feel like it ruins the book because it's like I expect there to be an epilogue where they get married or pregnant, but I loved this epilogue. I loved everything about the book. honestly, if you asked me what was one thing you didn't like about the book, nothing. There's nothing I didn't like about this book. There's not one single thing, not even like one small, tiny, minuscule thing that I didn't like about this book. I loved everything. I loved how long it was. I loved the length. If anything, it could have been. If anything, it could have been a bit longer. But even then, I did actually like the length of it. I liked that it wasn't too drawn out to the point where it was getting like repetitive, like the constant back and forward. I like that the book wasn't so long. The book is. Let me actually check. The book is 438 pages, but I like how it wasn't too long to the point that it felt repetitive, like the constant back and forward. It didn't feel repetitive at all. It felt like natural. I loved how how it felt like we had literally two different stories. This felt like two books in one. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the first half of the book was literally just a normal contemporary romance, and then the second half felt like we were in like not a high fantasy world, but it felt like we were in a fantasy world. It felt like the Princess Diaries, like the movie Princess Diaries, I think that's what it's called. It felt like that. Like the first half was like cute contemporary romance, like a run-of-the-mill palate cleanser romance, which I was still loving. Like as soon as I started this book, I was loving this book from the start till the end. I was in love with it. As soon as Reese popped up, I was like, okay, I'm loving this. But like at the start it was like, okay, this is nice, I'm really liking this, and then halfway through I was like, okay, this is like a potentiality to be a 4 star. I was like, this is 4 stars. And then the second half really got me, and from the halfway point this morning that I showed you till now, the book became a 5 stars, because like I said at the start, it was sort of like feeling like contemporary romance. Yeah, Princess Bodyguard, Grumpy Sunshine, the classic. And I was like, okay, yeah, solid 4 stars. I'm loving this. I was loving it. And then the second half took me by such surprise when like it was like a setting change. We were at Eldora now. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but we were at Eldora now, and it suddenly felt like the Princess Diaries. It suddenly felt like I was in a fantasy, like a low stakes fantasy book, like it felt like that. It felt like low stakes fantasy book. It felt like the Princess Diaries, and I was like obsessed. And then that's when it became a 5 stars, and I was like, I loved it. 5 stars. My camera is low on battery again. Honestly, it's really annoying. I literally charged it not that long ago, and I filmed what, 3 clips, 4 clips, and it's already dead. But yeah, 5 stars. I'm now going to go to sleep because like probably, yeah, it's like 9:30, so I'm probably going to go to sleep and tomorrow start on another book because I'm really in the reading mood and I feel like I just want to smash out all these books. I'm going to probably read a palette cleanser book or a sort of palette cleanser book because I don't know what could live up to this as of right now. I loved Anna Huang's writing, at least in this book. It's given me the urge to also reread Twisted Love because I read Twisted Love ages ago when like my reading tastes have obviously like changed from then, and I rated it 4 stars, but I remember really liking it, but I don't remember like specifically what it was about. I remember that it was like brother's best friend, and that it was like forced proximity, brother's best friend, and I remember that I liked it, but other than that I can't remember anything about it. So I might one day reread Twisted Love. I can't bother to do it now, but yeah, I've also got the next one, which I think the next one's Twisted Hate. I've also got that on my TBR for this month because coincidentally it's what the number generator picked. If you watched my number generator picks my reads, it picked Twisted Hate, so I can't wait to read that. But at the same time, I don't think I'm in the mood to read that right now because I just finished a contemporary romance. I don't know if I'm in the mood to get into another one because I need to process what I just read. And I don't like reading too many genres back to back. I read Say You Swear in April, as I said before. I've now read this one, so I don't want to read too many contemporary romances and then put myself in a book slump, because that does happen. One way that I get into a book slump is like reading the same genre of book back to back and then just getting bored with the genre, and then I just get bored with all books. So yeah, I don't want that to happen, so I might read Palette Cleanser next, like God Killer or maybe You, because it's like sort of a thriller. It's a thriller book and I consider thrillers to be more of palette cleansers to me, so I might pick up that. But as of right now, I'm just going to go to sleep. But yeah, Loved it. 5 stars. I love them. They're like my favourite couple in this series so far. I can't believe it took me ages to read this book. Years to read this book. And I found another 5-star read. I am pretty sure this is like the second or third 5-star read. Sunrise on the Reaping was the first 5-star read. This is my second 5-star read. Unk Storm was a 5-star read, but I think I'm rating it more. I think I've changed my rating more to a 4.75, but this is a definite 5-star read. Sunrise on the Reaping, definite 5-star read. So like definite, decidedly 5 stars. I've had 2 this year, this one and Sunrise on the Reaping, because Onyx Storm, I think I'm going to change that to a 4.75. But yeah. I also love how we saw the crumbs of the other couples in the book. We had Stella and Christian. Christian was Reese's boss, and he's like computer genius, very shady, like he like owns like a very big business, very rich, and he was interesting. I liked him as well. Like he was interesting. He was really like sweet, and like the relationship that he had with Reese was really sweet. So I can't wait to read their story. I think that's Twisted Lies, and then Twisted Hate is Stella and Josh, which I think is like enemies to lovers. Josh is Ava's sister, so it's best friend's brother. So I can't wait to read that as well, because towards the end of the book we also saw like little crumbs of them like asking, oh, where's Stella and Josh gone, I can't find them. It's like, oh, they're probably arguing again, because we got throughout this book that they like argue a lot and they don't like each other. They're like, it's sort of like enemies to lovers, but not in a way of, oh, I want to kill you, because this is contemporary romance. So it's more like rivals to lovers. I don't think in enemies to lovers, I don't think in contemporary romance there's ever a true enemies to lovers. When I think of enemies to lovers, I think like, no, I want to kill you, enemies to lovers. When I think of they just don't like each other and like they don't like each other, I think of, oh, they're not enemies, they're rivals. So I would suggest more they're like rivals to lovers, because people say enemies to lovers a lot, and like when you read the book it's like, this is not enemies. Like they just don't like each other. It's not enemies to lovers. In my head, coming from someone who reads lots of romantasy, enemies to lovers is, no, I want to kill you. Like, I need to kill you, or I'm hunting you, or like, you're my mortal enemy. That's like enemies to lovers. Theirs is just rivals, but I'm still excited to read it. But like I said, I think I need a palette cleanser for now. So I'm gonna go sleep and put my camera on charge again, so it's ready for tomorrow when I start reading my new book, which is probably going to be You. Let's go. See you in the morning. Hi guys. The thing is, it's the next day, by the way. I can't get into this. I've read chapter 1. I don't know what it is. I'm just not in the mood for this right now. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know if I'm still in the mood for a contemporary romance. I honestly don't know what I'm in the mood for at this point. So I'm gonna read a line from each book and see which one piques my interest the most. Starting off with Say You Swear. The drive to Oceanside is usually a peaceful one, but my brother Mason and his 2 best friends, Chase and Brady, came to an unspoken agreement last night that one more meant one more 12-pack. Right? And we've got Love Theoretically. I'm leaning towards this one the most, because, I don't know, I just am. In my life, I've experienced regret, embarrassment, maybe even a touch of agony, but absolutely nothing prepared me for the ignominy of finding myself in a bathroom stall, pressed against the arrogant older brother of the guy I've been pretending to date for the past 6 months. See, that's interested me a bit. I've got Pride and Prejudice, which, we'll see how this goes. I swear, I need to like bookmark the chapter 1, because the introduction and like the beginning of classic books is so long. Note of the text. Oh, Jesus Christ. There we go. Like this all is like the introduction part. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Got it. We've got Twisted Hate. Nothing good ever came from right swiping on a guy holding a fish on a dating app. Okay. Then we've got Six of Crows. I don't know if I'm in the mood for fantasy. Ooh, we've got a map. Ooh, beautiful drawings. Just had two problems, the moon and his mustache. He was supposed to be making his rounds at the Hayodi house, but for the last 50 minutes he'd been hovering around the southeast wall of the gardens trying to think of something clever and romantic to say to Anya. Okay. Cruel Prince. On a drowsy Sunday afternoon, a man in a long dark coat hesitated in front of a house on a tree-lined street. Daisy Jones of the Six. I don't know if this is like, is this the start? I'm confused. Daisy Jones was born in 1951 and grew up in the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles, California. The daughter of Frank Jones, the well-known British painter, and Janine Lefebvre, a French model, Daisy started to make a name for herself in the late 60s as a young teenager on the Sunset Strip. Then we've got God Killer. She's the last one, I think. Prologue. Her father fell in love with the god of the sea. Well, honestly, I don't know why. I didn't think this would happen, but I feel like in the mood for like another short romance palette cleanser style. So I think I'm gonna go with Love Theoretically, and see how this goes. Hopefully I'm not getting into a book slump. Usually when I can't be bothered to like start a book, it's heading towards a book slump, and it usually happens after reading the same genre for a long time, or it usually happens after finding a 5-star read or a book that I really like and feeling like nothing can live up to that book. Like I'll start a new book and I was like, what's the point in reading this book? Nothing's gonna live up to it. So, and I did just find a 5-star yesterday, so I hope that's not happening. But I'm gonna start with this because honestly, I'm really not in the mood for this. Like I picked it up, I didn't even want to pick it up all day. Like yesterday I was like, okay, I'll start You, really excited for it, and I was yesterday, and then today I woke up, I basically did nothing all day. I just like laid in bed scrolling through TikTok, and in my mind I kept thinking, ooh, I should like pick up You, and I just never did until like a couple seconds ago, and I picked it up like begrudgingly. Like I picked it up, put the book on the bed, and then I was just watching YouTube videos, and then I was like, okay, let me just read chapter 1 and see how it goes. I read chapter 1 and I was like, I'm really not feeling it. Hopefully this brings me out of the little funk I've gotten into today of just not wanting to read. But we'll see. Alright guys, let's discuss. Last clip you saw of me was probably picking up this book. I ended up finishing it on Saturday. The 24th, it's now the 25th. So yeah, it took me one more day to finish this because I did not finish it on Friday like I wanted to. But I finished this. I ended up rating it a 4 stars on Fabled as well. If you don't have my Fabled, it's down below. I don't use Goodreads anymore. As soon as I switched over to Fabled, I'm like, I love it. And I honestly, I don't think I give many reactions to this book, which I'm sorry for, because I read most of the book on Saturday and I didn't have my camera with me. But I'm not going to give an in-depth review right now because it's starting to get late and I've got work tomorrow. But I loved it. I love the relationship. I loved how this feels like a book for people pleasers. And as a big people pleaser, I love this book. Not only this, she felt like me. This felt like reading a book about me. She's not only a people pleaser, but she also loves cheese. And I love cheese. So yeah, this felt like this book was made for me. And I loved this. It felt like at times, it felt like reading this, like, At times it felt like reading about me and my boyfriend, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved the romance. I'm really loving the he falls harder trope. I usually love enemies to lovers or grumpy sunshine, where he's the grumpy and she falls first and stuff, but I'm starting to really love the like romance, but like he falls first, or they both fall but he falls harder. I love it, because the part where she's like, I don't know if I'm there yet with you, but I'm getting there. And then he says, well, I'm there, but don't worry, take your time, I'll wait for you. And then the epilogue, ow, that hurt. And then the epilogue, I can't. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but I loved it. So, I'm now going to go on to The Cruel Prince, because I wanted something a little bit more different. I've already read the back of this, but like, from the start of it, it seems like she admires the Fae, and then just like in Akatar, her parents get killed, but instead of just her getting kidnapped, all three girls get kidnapped. Well, actually, not just in Akatar. Her dad doesn't get killed in Akatar, but just like in Akatar, she gets kidnapped from the human world into the Fae world. But in this book, her parents get killed and they kidnap all three girls. So, like, there's three sisters, like in Akatar, and they get kidnapped from the human world to the Fae world. And the Fae are like mean and cunning, and they like don't like humans and see humans as below them, like in Akatar. And it's like a royal court type of thing. And there's a prince called Prince Carden, and he's like the main person of the story. I only bought book one. I didn't buy the other books because I didn't know if I was gonna like it. And back when I bought this, I was actually smart. Sometimes I have those moments where I'm like, no, bitches, you're not gonna buy the whole entire series if you don't know if you're gonna like it. Have some sense and just buy the first book, and then if you do like it, go out and buy it. Sometimes I have that sense, but then other times I don't have the sense, and I buy the whole series in one go. And then other times I have the sense and I buy the first book, and then I don't read the first book and it sits on my TBR for months, and then for some reason I think it's a good idea to buy the second book when I see it in store, when I haven't read the first book and it's been sitting on my TBR for months. So yeah, that, luckily with this book, I only bought the first book. It's been sitting on my TBR for months, yes, but I haven't gone back to buy the rest of the books, so that's good. To be honest, ever since I bought this book, I haven't thought about this book twice. So, but just like I didn't think about Twisted Games twice, I read Twisted Love and I didn't think about Twisted Games twice, and I ended up being a 5 stars. Same thing could be said for this book. I mean, it's quite short for a fantasy, which is like worrying, because fantasies, especially fantasy, like first books are usually longer than this, I say, because of the world building. It's around 360 chapters. Sorry, not 360 chapters, that would be a lot. It's 360 pages, and it's got 30 chapters. I don't know why the chapters matter, they don't, but to me they matter. 30 chapters. So yeah, let's hope the chapters are short, because the chapters in this book were actually quite long, and that's what made me read it longer. I said it, and I'll say it once again. No matter how much I love the book, if it's got long chapters, it's going to take me a while to read. So yeah, this took me a while to read. Still loved it though. I didn't love it as much as Twisted Games, but I still liked it. It was a fun time. It just had long chapters, so it took me ages, and I'm not about that. So let's hope that this one has shorter chapters. I wouldn't even say this book had long chapters. It had an average amount of chapters. I prefer my chapters to be like 5 pages max. I don't like a chapter that's more than 5 pages. So yeah, let's get reading The Cruel Prince. Welcome. Hi guys. It's currently 30th of May. I don't think I'm getting this TBR read. I'm currently on chapter 10 of The Cruel Prince, and I'm just gonna update. This has 30 chapters, by the way, but the chapters are going by quickly. I think I might be able to get this finished before the 1st of June, but I probably won't be able to finish all the other books, which is disappointing, but I'm still going to carry on with this video, because I still want to, like, finish this TBR. So I'm not going to just give up, but yeah, because I've got, well, if you count today, 2 days until the end of the month. Which is great. But, updates. Basically, this follows 3 girls who live in the human world with their parents. When one day comes knocking on the door, knock, 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 this man called Maddock, who says that their mum is his wife, and she used to live in the fairy world with him, and she ran away when she got pregnant, and she ran away because she didn't want to live in the fairy world. She said it wasn't for her. Like, she said herself that that land would never be hers and the world would never be hers. So she ran away. She got with another man, and then she had 2 more children, which is Jude and Tyron. And then Vivian is the child that she had with Maddock, the Fae King. He's sort of the knight to the king. I don't know. He runs his army, I think. Basically, in a rage, he ended up killing both the parents, and he took all 3 girls, his daughter Vivian, and then he also took the other 2 girls that technically weren't his, but he said that they're his responsibility because even though they're not his children, they are his wife's children because he still considered them married. They are his wife's children. So, and fairies have this thing about like responsibility. He said so he took all of them because they were still his responsibility. And it's been like 10 years, and they've grown up in the Fae world. I thought for some reason we'd be following Vivian. We're following Jude. I think Jude is the youngest, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we're following the youngest of the girls, Jude, and so far all of the chapters have been in like her POV, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it'd be in Vivian's because she's the one, the daughter. But yeah, and there's like a tournament going on right now. That's as far as I got. She basically, oh yeah, and like none of the fairies in Fairy World respect her and Tyron, her twin sister. They're twins, I forgot to mention that, because they're human. Like, they're fully human. Vivian's at least part Fae, but they are fully human, so no one really respects them. They only really put up with them because their father is like the knight to the king. And so yeah, and she's entered in this tournament to try and become a knight so that she could earn like respect from the other fairies like in the world. And yeah, that's all I've got up to. And there's supposed to be like a romance in here, that's why it's called The Cruel Prince, because there's supposed to be a romance with Prince Carden. He seems a bit rude. I don't like him. This is like bordering on bully romance for me, and I don't like bully romances. I like dark romances, but there's a difference between dark romance and bully romance. It's in the category, bully romance is in the category of dark romance, but that's a specific dark romance that I don't like. This is like, it's bordering on bully romance where I'm at now, because I know people say that this isn't really a romantasy, because there's some romance in it, but it's more politics, and that's fine. Because I do know that people complain because they were going into it expecting lots of romance. There isn't, and they said there isn't really. It's more politics heavy book with like little hints of romance, which is fine. But right now I'm feeling like no romance. Like, I don't even know how this can get romantic. That's my thing. Like, I don't see the chemistry, like loving chemistry between them. He literally bullies her. He literally threw dirt onto her food that she was going to eat, and he like with his boot put dirt on it and told her to eat it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm only on chapter 10 though, so like we'll see. And this also is only the first book in like a trilogy. And I think the Stolen Heir is about someone else. It's about their brother, I think now. But yeah, it's a bit. I don't know if the next 2 books are going to be about like a different sister. I don't know, but that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to try and get a bit of reading done now. Tomorrow I don't have work, so I could get a big chunk of reading done tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say except I'm going to read this. Also, I don't know what this, like, I think there's some spelling mistakes in here, or either that or I'm just dumb. and I don't know how to read. I don't know. But I'll update you when I've got more to say about this book, or if anything like changes drastically. But yeah, let's read. Hi guys. It's currently a couple days probably since I filmed that last clip. Ugh. And I realized something while I was going through my Kindle, that I actually have I actually have Coral Prince on my Kindle, so I could have been reading it on my Kindle this whole time. And I am in a Kindle reading mood for some reason, so I kind of do want to read it on my Kindle. I'm just in the mood to read it on my Kindle, I think. I went to get my nails done and I got like this chrome, I don't know if you can tell if it's chrome on the actual camera, but I got yellow chrome nails. And I was reading Cruel Prince on my Kindle, and I had some thoughts about it. I'm honestly just confused on what's going on at the moment. Like, I'm confused. Like, I don't know what's going on, or like what the plot is. I'm not saying it's bad, but right now what's going on, I don't know like what the point is, like what the plot is, if you get what I mean. I'm gonna go back to reading The Cruel Prince. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading The Cruel Prince. Again, very confused on the whole book. I don't really feel like reading it, to be honest. Like, I'm not itching to pick it up, but at the same time, when I'm reading it, I'm not having the worst time in my life. Like, I'm having a fine time. I'm not having the best time. I'm also not having the worst, but I'm not like itching to pick it up or anything like that. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I understand what's going on, but like, I really am confused and at the same time don't understand what's going on. So yeah, I don't know. But also, there's a romance that's happening. I honestly didn't know that. I'm confused on who the romance is with. I was assuming that the romance was with Prince Carden, but we're getting a completely different romance, and it's like, what? And there's also like a mini mystery going on. Essentially, I'm very confused. I don't know how long this vlog is. We've read like 2 books, and I think I'm on chapter 17 of The Cruel Prince. I think I'm gonna have to split this into 2 parts because I still want to read the rest of my things. It's currently June 3rd, so I did fail the challenge of trying to read all these books in the same month, but I still think I want to make this video. But I might finish this, like this might be my last book, and then I might make a part 2, or I might not make a part 2 since I failed the challenge, which is the point of the video. So I might not make a part 2 and just leave it at that, but at the same time I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But I think definitely this is going to be the last book I read for this video, because I don't want this vlog to be too long, because I've been trying to make shorter vlogs, because I know not everybody likes 1-hour vlogs. I personally love watching like very long vlogs, but I know that not everybody else does, so I want to make this shorter. I want to make a shorter vlog for the people who can't sit for an hour and watch a video. And so this is going to be the last book that I read for this video, possibly. And then we'll either do a part 2 where I try to finish the books that I set out to finish, or I just move on to another video, because I don't know, I'm not in the mood for most of the books that are on my list anymore, to be honest. I'm in the mood to film another video, which I'm excited about, and I don't know if I'm in the mood for all of them. I'm in the mood to read Six of Crows. That I definitely want to read this month. But for example, Daisy Jones and Six, I don't know if I'm in the mood for that, and I don't know if I'm in the mood for Pride and Prejudice as well. I don't know. So yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to reading, see if I can finish this book. Maybe. Hi guys. I have an update. I'm on chapter 21 of The Cruel Prince. I think I'm gonna put it down, and hear me out. I just don't care. Like, something just happened, someone just died, and from the way that it was written, it felt like we were supposed to care. I really didn't. Like, I'm not finding any connection whatsoever. I'm pretty much a bit bored. From what I can tell, there isn't much romance, and even though there was like some romantic moments, it wasn't between the character that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a sort of enemies to lovers between Prince Carden and the other girl, which I still think it might be, but the romance was with someone else, and even that, it wasn't a romance because he turned out to be a snake, but Prince Carden is giving hints of like he likes her. Like you can tell in a book in a book which character is going to be the male protagonist, and Prince Carden is giving hints that he's going to be the male lead, but then she's with it. I'm confused, and I'm bored, which is two things you never want to be. And like I said, I don't want this vlog to be too long, but I said I was not going to read this in this vlog, but I was still excited to. But that's when I was reading that book. But since I'm putting that down, I'm not saying it might be it. I'm soft DNFing it for now, but it might end up being a hard DNF. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me right now. I'm just not in the mood to read that book. I'm in the mood to read every other book except for that book. Like, I was at work today, as you can tell because I'm in pyjamas now, but I was at work today and I was just thinking about coming home and like reading and all the books I want to read, and not one of those books was that book, The Cruel Prince. So anyway, we're going to be moving on to the Six of Crows. I don't know how long this video is, and like I said, I don't want to make it too long, but we're going to be moving on to Six of Crows, which is quite a chunky book, but I feel like I'm going to like this. I know it's about a heist, and from what I can see, there's like little things separating it, so I'm assuming there's like different parts. Yeah, there's like part 1, part 2, it looks like, so that's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, it looks like this is 6 parts. I'm gonna try my hardest today to get to part 2 and get like a good amount into this book and like give it a chance. This is the only book out of the section of books that we have on the TBR that I'm actually even in the mood to read. I'm not in the mood to read any other book really from the TBR at the moment, except for maybe Say You Swear, because I'm still in a bit of a romance mood. Maybe that's the problem. I'm like picking up a bunch of fantasies when I don't know if I'm in the mood for fantasy. I think I'm still in a romance mood, but I don't want to read loads of romances of fear of putting me in a slump. But we'll try and read Six of Crows, and if even this, which I'm very excited for, doesn't do it for me, then I'll just pick up a romance, because maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's what I'm in the mood for. I honestly don't know. I don't know what I want. But, yeah. So I might do that. I'm just like, every book that I'm in the mood to read, or want to read, are all romances. And I'm like, debating just going and rereading Magnolia Parks, because I just randomly got the urge to reread that. I think I'm just like in a very angsty, romancy mood, like reading books like Magnolia Parks, A Love Letter to Whiskey, like those type of romances. I'm not on about like contemporary romances, I'm on about like those deep, gut-wrenching romances. Like, you get what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna try to read this. I don't know if there's romance in this, honestly don't. It people say it's got lots of found family, and on the back it doesn't mention anything to do with romance. So I'm assuming there might, if there is a romance, it's like very, very little, and not much romance. But I'm excited, and I hope I like it, because it seems interesting and action-packed. And yeah, hopefully we can end the video on a good note. We found a 5-star Twisted Games, and yeah, I also really liked Love Theoretically, so hopefully we can end on a good note. It's like June 5th now, and I kind of want to end this video and get on with like other videos, because yeah, this has turned into, it was supposed to be reading my May TBR. It's just turned into just reading books of my TBR now, because I failed the can I finish my whole TBR in the month of May. So this is probably titled something else, so if you're confused, yeah, welcome to my world, because I'm also very confused right now. But yeah, I'm gonna get into this. Why is my camera already losing battery? Oh, it's so annoying. Like, I've got 3 bars on my camera. I literally charged it the other day, and I have not used it at all because I haven't been reading at all. I've been reading like a couple chapters here and there, and then I literally turned the Kindle off and then turned the Kindle back on, and it's like I'm forcing myself to read, so that's why I haven't picked up the vlog. And suddenly I pick it up and it's dying. Why? But yeah, it's a rainy day outside today. Very like reading in the mood. So I think I might put a playlist and put this on so I don't get distracted, or put a video on that doesn't need much brain power to actually watch it. Yeah, I might do that. But yeah, we'll see. Hi guys, I'm doing a small update. I'm on part 2. Honestly, so far I'm liking it. I was worried when I started it because I was very confused on what was going on, and I was very confused about the magic system because nothing was being explained. And I know that there was a trilogy before this, like the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I didn't know that you had to read the trilogy before reading Six of Crows. Some people say that you don't need to read the trilogy to read Six of Crows, like it's all interconnected. But I saw a TikTok where someone explained that in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, it explains it goes into more depth about the whole magic system than Six of Crows does. It goes into way more depth about everything. So she was like, oh, it's best if you do read the trilogy before so you can understand it a bit more, but you don't need to. And I was like, oh, that's why I'm confused, and that's why nothing's being explained, because apparently it's explained more in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which was like disappointing because I don't have that trilogy, and I didn't want to read a whole trilogy just to read this book. So what I did is I just looked up the magic system and like looked up videos of people explaining the magic system and explaining everything to do with the Grisha and everything. So I think I've got it down on what the magic system is and what the Grisha is, because I just looked it up. If I didn't look it up, I think I'd still be very confused on what was going on. So I'm glad I looked it up. It's currently 9 o'clock. I'm on part 2, which I'm actually really proud that I got to part 2, because that was like one of my goals. I wanted to get to part 2 today, and I'm really liking it so far. The heist hasn't started yet, but I'm really liking it. I think I'm gonna take a break for tonight, and I'm gonna just watch some YouTube videos, and then tomorrow I'm gonna try and get further into the book, maybe reach part 3 even, which is around chapter 16. So maybe reach part 3. I want maybe reach even part 4. Maybe it depends. Don't have work tomorrow, so I've got like all day to read. Part 4 starts at chapter 21. I don't know how many chapters there is in this, but yeah, might do that tomorrow. For right now, I'm just gonna put my camera back on charge because it's losing battery again, like always, and take a break from reading. I've only read that much, but still, my goal was to reach part 2, and I reached my goal. I'm proud of myself. So yeah, Bye. Hi guys, let's update. I'm actually I've got this much left in the book. I'm on chapter 20. Yeah, I'm on chapter 20 and I've got like a couple things. Oh, I can't, this camera. I've got a couple things to say. I've tabbed a couple things. I'm loving Kaz. You guys don't understand. At the start of this book, I don't know if I mentioned this. At the start of this book, I wasn't feeling it that much because I had to like look up the world building because there's a trilogy before this and it's like Storm and Siege or Shadow and Storm or something like that. Shadow and Bone. And that trilogy goes into more of the magic and more of the politics of the world and like all the countries and explains it. This one doesn't go into as much detail. So when I was starting the book, I was very confused and I wasn't really feeling the book because I was like, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. And so I had to look up most of the stuff. I had to, for example, I had to look up what Grisha was and like all the powers that the Grisha had because this book doesn't explain anything. And most people say that you don't really need to read the trilogy to go into this book, but I think that's a bit of a lie. If you want to like have full understanding and not be confused when reading this book, then you should read the trilogy first. I'm loving this so far. Once I figured out the politics, the world building, and everything, and the magic system, started loving it. I love Kaz, and there like I thought there wasn't romance in this, but there isn't romance, but there's like a sprinkling and crumbs of romance between two characters, which is one is like a witch and the other one's a witch hunter, and then also between that one the main male character who's like the group leader and this other person. Like there's like two romances happening right now, I think. And yeah, in this group, and so far nobody really likes each other. Like the witch hunter, like, and like there's this other guy called Rylan, and I think it's the Matthias. I don't know, but him and Nina, like, I'm loving that storyline. But I love Kaz so much. This quote, this is a non-spoiler video, so I'm trying to spoil not many stuff, but this quote, if you've read this book, you understand. I know some people don't understand, but Kaz told me, he said it was my choice, that he wouldn't be the one to mark me again. And that was Inej saying that. And I was like, okay, I need to talk about that quote. And then this book is funny as well. Like, it's this. It says, "Fine, but if Pekka Rollins kills us all, I'm going to get Wyland's ghost to teach my ghost how to play the flute, just so that I can annoy the hell out of your ghost." Brecca's lips quirked. "I'll just hire Matthias's ghost to kick your ghost's ass. My ghost won't associate with your ghost." Matthias said primely. I think it's Matthias. I honestly don't know. And I was like, that's funny. Like, they're little quips that they have with each other because they don't like each other per se, but at the same time it's not like they hate each other, and it's just hilarious. I just find it hilarious. Oh yeah, and then this quote, this was Inej's like father. Shall I tell you the secret of love? Her father once asked her. A friend of mine liked to tell me that women love flowers. He had many flirtations, but he never found a wife. Do you know why? Because women may love flowers, but only one woman knows the scent of gardenias in late summer that remind her of her grandmother's porch. Only one woman loves apple blossoms in a blue cup. Only one woman loves wild carnations. That's Mama, Inej had cried. Yes, Mama loves wild carnations. Carnations, what am I saying? Wild geraniums. Geraniums. Mama loves wild geraniums because no other flower has quite the same colour, and she claims that when she snaps a stem and puts a spring behind her ear, the whole world smells like summer. Many boys will bring you flowers, but one day you'll meet a boy who will learn your favourite flower, your favourite song, your favourite sweet, and even if he is too poor to give you any of them, it won't matter because he will have taken the time to know you as no one else does. Only that boy earns your heart. And then she says, "I'm not sure I have a heart to give anymore, Papa." I've dog-eared that quote, and I'm gonna continue dog-earing it because I'm putting that in my book journal. Sometimes Sometimes I put quotes in my book journal. Even if I'm not annotating the book, I'll just dog ear it because I want to remember that quote. But I'm loving it so far. It was just a bit confusing at the start. But once I got through the confusing part and just looked up the whole magic system, I'm loving it. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say this, but I actually finished The Cruel Prince yesterday. I was like, "Oh, I might as well finish. I've only got 10 chapters left." So I did finish The Cruel Prince. I'm gonna say all my ratings, like, in the outro, like, in the last clip, because I need to sit with my ratings for a while. But yeah, it was alright, but again, I wasn't obsessed with the book. It was a bit... I'll give my initial thoughts at the end, but I just want to update that right now. I'm loving this book, and I'm on chapter 20. This is like 46 chapters, so yeah. But the chapters feel like they're going so quick. Like, I don't know how many pages this has. Like, around 400 and something pages, 480, nearly 500 pages, and I'm loving it. Like, I don't know how this is going to end for that to be a duology, because I know this is a duology, but I don't know how this, like, is it going to end on a cliffhanger? Is it going to, like, is something going to happen? I hope no one dies, because I kind of love all the characters. Like, I'm obsessed with all the characters. But yeah, we'll see. Guys, everyone's separating, and I feel like some bad stuff's gonna happen, and I feel like some people are gonna die. I don't know, I just have a bad feeling that some people are gonna die, maybe. Like, everyone's separating, everyone's going, like, the separate ways, and I don't think that's a good thing, because every time people separate in movies and in horror films, something goes wrong. I'm scared. I really hope this isn't wonky. Don't mind me being in my pajama yet again, because it's late at night. So yeah, let's talk then. Oh, let me grab all the books I read in this video so we can give a big overhaul. I actually finished Six of Crows yesterday. So I'll start with this one. I love all the found family aspects in this book, and I was correct when I said at first that there isn't much romance in this. There isn't, but you do get a hint of a little bit of, like, romance between two couples, between two specific people. You get, like, hints here and there about these two specific couples, and nothing serious. Like, there's literally no kissing or anything like that. There's no spice, there's no anything. There's just, like, feelings. Like, you can tell when certain characters have feelings for each other in a book, and you can tell, especially since you get everyone's POV. This follows Kaz, Matthias, and Nina, Inej, Wylan, and Jesper. I think that's it. And it follows all them, and they each have their own POVs in the chapters. There's, like, multiple POVs in this chapter, and like I said, you get hints of feelings. Like, you can tell that some characters have feelings for each other, but there's, like, no kissing, no spice or anything like that. So in terms of romantic, like, stuff actually happening, not much of that, but you can tell basically there's yearning. There's some big time yearning between a certain couple in this, and I can't wait to read the second book to see if that yearning is taken even further, because this is only a duology. Like, there's no book after the second book, so I hope we get a bit more romance between the couples, and it doesn't, like, leave us, like, wanting more, and it, like, leaves all the couples and all the romance, like, finished off. But I really, really like this. I'm rating it a 4.5. But I loved this book. It was really fun. I can't wait to read the second one. And, like, the chapters in this, I say they're of average length, kind of short, and I loved it. I flew through this book. I read this book, like, in 2 days. I flew through it. Once I really sat down to read it, like, once I wasn't confused anymore, because there was a point where I got to chapter 8 and I was like, what? But then once I looked it up and I wasn't confused anymore, fully took, like, 2 days to finish this book, because I couldn't put it down. I literally could not put it down. It was so action-packed. It's absolutely... I loved it. So yeah, 4.5. Not any higher than that because of the confusion, but again, that's kind of my fault. That's not the book's fault. If I read the trilogy before this and then read this book, would this probably been a 5 stars or a 4.75? Yeah, probably, but it's my fault for not reading the trilogy before. Next, I'm gonna go over Cruel Prince, because I actually didn't say my thoughts on this. So I finished Cruel Prince, like I said, before I finished Crows, and it was okay. My thoughts still stands where I'm not really that intrigued. Um, People said that this isn't romance. Don't go into this expecting a romantasy because it's not. It's purely political, if even that. It's purely political. Like there's romance. If we're talking about romance between the two main characters, the protagonists, there's romance like that's how much romance you get. Yeah, yeah. And it's basically just politics, if that. But you basically just follow the main character, Jude. She's the youngest of the girls. You only get her perspective, and you follow her 10 years after she's been in the fairy realm, since she got taken there, and that's really it. There's not really much happening. It's just her in the fairy realm, and the fairies don't like her because she's human, and she's just trying to survive, and she's trying to make a name for herself because nobody likes her, respects her, and she wants people to respect her. So she's trying to find ways to get people to respect her by like becoming a knight, joining the knights, or and then she gets offered an opportunity from like someone, and it goes from there. It's really hard to explain because there's not really much to explain. It just follows her in fairy world. That's it. And then at the end you get a bit of action, like something happens that you're supposed to care about, like someone dies, and I'm like, I don't really care. It was read in the book as if you were supposed to care about this person. I honestly didn't. I didn't really care about anybody in this book, to be honest. Like one of the parts that I loved the most about this book was the relationship between her and her father, Madoc, the fairy who took her from the human world. Even though she's not his daughter, it's his ex-wife's daughter that he murdered. Even though it's not his daughter, he still took her in and treats her like one of his own. And even though he's got like his issues, because he murdered their parents, and so obviously he's got his issues and he's not the best. But it's like I love their complex relationship, and loved how Holly Black went through that complex relationship, and she showed the fact that Jude could simultaneously hate her father, but at the same time love him, hate him because literally killed her parents, but at the same time she loves him because he didn't leave her there. Like he brought her and he took care of her, he's fed her, he's like done everything he can to make up for what he did. But at the same time, she feels guilty for not hating him. Like she feels guilty for not hating him because he took care of her, but at the same time, he's the reason that she needed to be taken care of. But yeah, that's one of the only parts I really liked. I knew this wasn't gonna be romance heavy. The reason why I didn't like it that much isn't because it's not romance heavy, because I knew that going into that. To be honest though, when people say not romance heavy, I wasn't expecting like nothing, like literal breadcrumbs. I was expecting even a bit of yearning. That's like not even that. Halfway through this book, I was very confused on who the male love protagonist even was, and then I found out in like the last 5% of the book, oh, it is him. Okay, thank you, I was right, because I was very confused. But yeah, I just felt like it wasn't. That's not the reason why I was upset about it there not being enough romance. The reason why I was upset is because it had like basically no fantasy. In my head, it's like if you're gonna get like, I don't need romance in a fantasy. I don't need a romantasy to like a fantasy. I've been reading fantasy for years. Harry Potter is one of my favourite series, and Harry Potter has basically no romance in it. It's not that. I like fantasy books because of the fantastical elements in this. It's just that this had none, in my opinion, no fantastical elements and no romance. So it's like, if you're not going to give me romance, then at least give me high fantasy. Like, if you're not going to give me that, give me like loads of high fantasy, action-packed scenes, a big world building, and it just didn't give that. To be fair, this book is quite short for a fantasy, and to be fair, many people said that if you're someone who doesn't read fantasy at all, or if you've never read fantasy and you're mainly a romance reader and you want to get into fantasy, or if you don't like fantasy but you want to try it out, you want to like dip your toes and you want something that's simple to like understand, this book is perfect for you. But since that's not really my demographic, because I've been reading fantasy, like I started reading fantasy as a kid. That's like the first books I ever read, it was fantasy books. So that's not really my demographic, because I'm more into lots of world building, lots of high action fantasy scenes, and this just wasn't that. I feel like this is more for people getting into fantasy. That's why I'm rating it a 3 stars and not any lower than that, because I feel like a 3 stars for me is like, the book wasn't for me, but it wasn't bad. As in, the book wasn't bad, it kept me entertained. I managed to finish this book. So it's not anything below a 3 stars because I was able to finish it. I was nearly going to DNF it, but I was like, no, I think I can finish the 10 chapters. Sorry if you can hear people shouting, by the way. But yeah, so I'm rating this a 3 stars because it's like, it wasn't for me, but could I see somebody else enjoying this who's never read fantasy before and who wants to get into fantasy, or one like is a romance reader and they want to get into more fantasy but they don't know where to start, and they feel intimidated by very big fantasies with big world building, like Six of Crows, for example, which is like quite a thick book, and you want something small, then this would be perfect for you, because I do feel like loads of fantasies like are very big on world building, very long books, and it can be intimidating if you've never read fantasy before to find a short fantasy that doesn't have that much intimidating world building. So if you want that, this book is perfect. It just wasn't for me, so I'm going to be rating it at 3 stars. And I do have the second book on the on my Kindle as well, and I will say that the ending actually surprised me, and I thought, I was like, okay, I'm not really liking this book, I'll finish it, but I don't think I'm going to continue the series because I'm not really enjoying it. But the ending kind of changed my mind a bit, because I'm like, okay, maybe I do want to read the second book, because that's like a plot twist and a half. I need to find out like what happens, and it's because of the romance. Something happens at the end of the book with the romance between our main 2 protagonists, and it's like, okay, I need to find out what happens next. But yeah, but I'm not itching to read the second book right now, is what I'm trying to say. Next, I also read Love Theoretically. I think I originally rated this 4.5. I think I'm going to be changing that to a 3.75. It was okay, but it was a little forgettable. Like, it was just a cool palette cleanser. I liked it in the moment. Like, that's how my ratings usually work. At 3 stars and up, like 3 stars, 3.5, 3.75 is a book that I would recommend to someone. It just either was sort of, I was enjoying the book when I was reading it. Like, while I was reading the book, I was enjoying it. While I was reading the book, I was enjoying it, but it's a bit forgettable. Like, after I read it, it doesn't really stick in the mind. It doesn't really stick in the mind. It's more of a book that would be great as a palette cleanser read, which is what mainly I was reading it for. I just wanted a bit of a palette cleanser, like a no brain thoughts book, and I really liked this. And I really liked the romance. I really liked our main characters, but again, it's not something that sticks out. I can't even remember the characters' names, but it's not something that sticks out. But I really liked it while I was reading it, which is why it's a 3.75. But I don't have much to say. And then we've got Twisted Games. Guys, I rated this a 5 stars, which, thinking back now, might have been a bit over presumptuous, since I can't even remember the names of the characters. I can remember what happened in it, but I can't remember the name of the character. Bridget and Reese. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put this down to a 4.5 stars, like Six of Crows. I really, really liked this book, but I think the reason why I rated it 5 stars is because I was coming off a high from reading this book and I loved it. But the thing is, the first half of this book was very like contemporary romance, like just a normal old romance, nothing special. And like throughout the first half, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then the second half, I was like, oh, okay, this has took a turn. I'm loving this new setting. I'm loving this new like place that we're in. If you've read this, like, you know, I'm loving this new place. I'm loving this new setting. I loved it. And then the book finished and I was like, okay, 5 stars. But in reality, I think it's more 4.5 because I really did like it. But the first half of the book was sort of it's just a normal romance. Okay, I'm loving the connection between the characters. I'm loving the chemistry and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. But it's a normal romance. And I thought the whole book was going to be like that. If the whole book was like that, this would have probably been a 4 stars. But then the second half really got me. The second half, where we got all the politics, because obviously she's a princess. I thought it was just going to be, okay, she's a princess, but we're never going to see much of that because it's a contemporary romance. So I thought we weren't going to see much of that. It was just going to be a princess bodyguard and that's it. But the fact that in the second half we got so much of the politics and like seeing her be a princess and the politics, I loved it. I loved that it wasn't just a straightforward contemporary romance. I love that there was like a little bit more depth. I really liked that. That's why I probably like rated it 5 stars in my high. Like I said, I need to stop rating books as soon as I finish reading them because I usually just sit with the book to give the rating, unless the book is that good. Usually if a book is a 5 stars, I know it's 5 stars in like if I can't stop thinking about it for a while. But yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while, but is it a thing of, I've been thinking about it like, is it really 5 stars? Because I don't think it is. Going back and forward. But yeah, that's all the books I'm going to be reading for this video. We read 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the books on my TBR, so it's 4 out of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 books out of 10, which actually not bad. I essentially failed the challenge though, because I was meant to read all of these in May, and it's now June something. I don't know, I don't have my phone with me, but yeah. We failed, but we still read 4 books, and honestly, I really enjoyed most of these books. Like I said, I didn't hate Cruel Prince, but I didn't love it either. It was just sort of meh. So yeah, honestly, not a bad reading week. And I just want to finish this video because I'm really excited to start my next one. And I'm really hoping you guys will enjoy that too. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the video, subscribe down below. I've got my TikTok, Fabled, and Goodreads linked in the description. Check those out if you want. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!